do it? Come on up. Give Ruth a round of applause. And Ruth, no pressure. No, here's the thing. I'm going to sit down with you. Yeah, please take a seat there. And we'll go through it. And whatever your natural, I know that we've gone through this, but whatever your natural responses are, just let your natural, and it's good for me to kind of coach you through and for these folks to kind of get, oh, she didn't answer the way he wanted to. Great. And then you can start to see us, whatever. But what I'm trying to say is whatever comes up for you is right. There's no right way. There's no wrong way.
Okay.
You cool with that? I'm going to grab my water right now. Do you have something that like a thought or a thought level problem you like to get rid of?
Well, I've always liked sweets and carbs.
Okay.
But since I became diabetic 25 years ago, it's like all I can crave. It's like I can't stop the cravings for sugar and carbohydrates.
Okay. Want to work with that one?
Yes.
Lovely. First question. Do you want these thoughts?
No.
No. Well, that's pretty much why you volunteered to be here, right?
That's right.
That's why anyone would pay us any money, right? They don't, where the fuck would I want to be? Like, yeah, I want these thoughts. Why am I paying you X amount of money, Luke? Like, oh, so yeah, we get that, first of all. And I know we've gone through the process here, but whatever comes up for you, your honest response. I'm not looking for a stooge, just Ruth be Ruth.
Okay.
Forgetting what you learned here, did you choose these thoughts, these cravings?
No.
You don't choose them?
I don't want them.
Not do you want them, do you choose
no,
those
I don't
thoughts?
choose to have them.
Okay.
They just pop up.
They just kind of pop up. All right. Okay. We kind of know if someone said, well, no, of course I'd choose them. I'd bring up the animal thing. Were you here for the animal? You'll get it on video. But you know what? While we've got time, what I might say, if Ruth says, yeah, of course I choose my thoughts. I'm an empowered woman. I'm a trainer. I'm a hypnotist. Of course I choose. I'm at cause. I choose my thoughts. It certainly seems that way, doesn't it? Certainly seems that we choose our thoughts. I, up until a year or two, would have said, yeah, totally. I'm in charge of my mind. I'm a cause of my problems. I'm choosing my thought. Maybe not consciously, but unconsciously. To which I'd say, yeah, it certainly would seem that we're choosing our thoughts. I'd ask Ruth to think of an animal. Play along with me. Think of an animal, Ruth.
My dog.
A dog, right? And did you choose that, Ruth? Did you choose your dog? Did you choose that thought of your dog?
No.
No. To be difficult, let's say she says, yeah, of course I chose it, Luke. To what you say, it certainly seemed that you chose your dog, right? And I might give her an option to choose a more difficult animal, because typically people would say dog or cat. So you know what? Like really, really try and mess with me. Just choose another random animal.
Elephant.
Elephant, all right? So did you choose that? Well, yeah, it wasn't a dog or cat. I went in. So it certainly would seem that way, wouldn't it? But I'm going to pose that you didn't choose that. Because in that moment, every animal that you knew of wasn't online for you. A dog, a cat, a rat, a mouse, a baboon. Did you just think of baboon when you chose that animal? Did you?
No.
No, you didn't. So how could it have been a free choice when she didn't even have access to a bloody baboon? So it wasn't a choice. It just kind of came up. It's a bit like, would you go to Burger King and order a quarter pounder? Why? Or they don't exist in Burger King, right? But that's right. And you wouldn't order it because it's not on the menu. Because it's not on the menu, how could it have been a free choice? In that moment, Ruth didn't have access to the thought labeled baboon. So if she didn't, but you know a baboon exists, right? You've heard of a baboon before. But in the moment, she didn't have access to it. So how could it have been a free choice? She didn't have access to every animal. That's what I would do with someone. Make sense? If they chose. And that's where you might start to lose them, and then you start the coaching. So, you're craving foods, craving sugar.
Yes.
Do you want these thoughts?
No.
Do you choose these thoughts?
Sometimes I think I do.
But and honestly now, do you still think you choose these thoughts? Or do you think they just come up? I'm okay either way, by the way.
Well, I was very ill when I was a child, and my mother gave me chocolate and chips to make me feel better, give me energy. And so it's not that I choose to do it, it's just kind of ingrained in me.
But you don't choose.
No, I don't choose.
Okay, that's all we want.
Okay.
She doesn't choose it. I say this, it sounds very condescending. Don't mean this to sound condescending. Don't care about the fucking story. I just care about, well, and I mean it with empathy, but I just care that she embodies like, no, it just kind of comes up. I've got a story behind it. I've got rationale behind it, but I also accept it just bloody comes up from time to time. It's inconvenient. And that's where I want to get her to. And not just here, I want to get her here. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Cool. Number 3, do you accept these thoughts just appear?
Yes, I accept it.
Oh, see that? A little bit of resistance there. No, this is beautiful. We want this. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to grab these 2 things right here. Your mouth said something, your body said something else. Did you see that? Yeah. That's beautiful. Lovely. I'm glad that happened, by the way. So, do you accept these thoughts appear? Remember what I said. When you argue with reality, you only lose but 100% of the time. I want this bloody car to float when I let go of it. I love seeing things float in the air. If I lose my pen and it's just floating, I can find it. If I just lose it somewhere and it's on the ground, I can't see it. I want shit to be floating. I like spacemen. I like David Copperfield when he could fly in the air. I like the idea of flying. I'm not willing to accept gravity. I'm not willing to accept it. I'm not willing to accept that when I let go of this card that says hypnosis, that it's not going to fly. I'm not willing to accept it, so I'm going to drop it. Ah, shit. Gravity. But I'm not accepting it. No. You know what? I'm not accepting that. This time, I'm going to hold it up and it's going to fly. Watch this. No, but you know what? I'm not accepting this thing called gravity. It's going to fly this time. Watch. I'm really thinking about it. Really, it's going to fly. Watch. I'm not accepting gravity. When you argue with reality, you only lose 100% of the time. I'm not asking if you want the thought. I'm not asking if you enjoy it, but you're willing to accept it just kind of appears.
Oh, yes.
There you go. See the difference right there? Want to get her to there, but not just with the mouth, with the body. See how that was a lot more congruent? So that's the 3rd one I want to get her to. Or was that the 4th one? Are you willing to? What was that? Are you willing to accept? Did I ask her? Are you willing to accept that these thoughts just appear? Was that the one I just asked? Or did I ask her that you accept these thoughts just appear? All right, we'll just do number 4 anyways.
I'm willing.
Are you willing to accept? We haven't done number 4. Are you willing to accept these thoughts just appear? I'm not asking if you want them to.
I'm willing.
You're willing? Okay, that's lovely. She says, if she didn't, well, no. I'd give her the metaphor. Well, and this is true. My cat, Mr. B, shits on the ground. Do not want to pick it up. I'm willing to, because I love him and I don't want my house to smell of shit. I don't like to exercise. Fucking every day I exercise. I fast. At Christmas, I fast a month. I don't want to fast. No food. I love food, especially at Christmas. I don't want to do it, but I'm willing to do it because I don't want to be a fat bastard. I want to be healthy. So I'll give a reframe like that and I'll wait till I see if they said no, which is great. Because if they were saying yes to everything, I think there's a problem. Because if they'd said yes to everything, they probably wouldn't be in my office. Because the problem wouldn't be the problem because there'd be no more suffering. The thought would have come in and it would have gone out. They're here because they're doing this. So if they say yes to everything, they're either a people pleaser, which I don't want because I can't really help them. So I give them permission to not bloody be a people pleaser and to have a real experience. So I'm actually happier when I'm not getting yeses because it means they're real and they're really going through the process and we're doing the work. Does that make sense? Are you willing to accept they kind of appear? Are you willing, so this is number 5. Are you willing to have the thought of sugar, of carbohydrates? Are you willing to have that thought?
Yes.
Really? Did people buy that? Yes.
No.
Okay. No, this is good. You're helping us, by the way. So, no, it's good.
I'm really resistant.
No, this is beautiful. I'm very happy. You're helping them. You're helping me. I love this. Is a better video. If it was yes to everything, bloody hell, it'd be a waste of time. So, are you willing to have these thoughts? Because remember, this whole process is about taking the red flags out of our thinking, right? The red flag meaning danger in some form or fashion, right? So non-willing is thinking there's still danger. And remember, I always keep going back to this, right? This is you. This is the thought. Good thought, bad thought. It's just a label. It comes and goes, right? Every day, I think we have about 70,000 thoughts a day. Supposedly 57,000 are positive. If we label them positive, 3,000 have labeled negative, right? But they come, they go. The only way not to have a thought is to be bloody dead, right? And I wouldn't recommend that. It only becomes a problem is when we resist it. Remember, resistance times experience equals suffering. So most people are here. They're holding on to the bloody thought and they are suffering. Can't change the event that happened, but we can stop their suffering. My job, I see, is to help them to let go.
Resistance is the thought.
Resistance is it's not okay for me to have this thought. Resistance is I'm coming to you, Luke, because I'm a crack addict and I've been clean for a month. But if that thought comes in my mind, I'm going to use. That's the thought. The thought is the suffering because they think the thought equals. Yeah, they think the thought isn't resistance. The thought is I'm thinking about using crack. I don't want to think about crack anymore. That's the resistance. The thought is just a thought. It's neither good, it's neither bad. It's the label we attach. It's the thought that I don't want to do this. I don't want the thought. I don't want that thought. That thought is bad. That thought means I'm going to start eating sugar again. Get what I mean?
Yeah.
You get it? Yeah. It's just the labeling of the thought. The thought is just a thought. The pipe is just the pipe. Remember back to our picture at the beginning? So are you willing to accept these thoughts? Let me say that again. Are you willing to accept these thoughts? What we're looking at them to do? Yeah. I'm willing to accept them because the thought isn't me doing it. The thought isn't me overeating sugar. We've taken the red flag out of it. The thought of me using crack isn't me using crack. The thought of me self-harming isn't me self-harming. The picture of the pipe isn't a pipe. Make sense? Get it? And the last one, and you will likely lose everyone on this one. Can you look forward to the thoughts, those thoughts of sugar?
No.
This is real. Right? Most people go back, well, no, you add me to that, but no, if I could look forward to it, why the fuck would I be here? Totally normal. And I say, I'm so happy you said that. You know what I really would hate for you? I'd really hate for you to leave here today and to go a couple of weeks and you don't have sugar, you don't have carbs, and you don't even have a thought about it. Then all of a sudden, a couple of weeks from now, I've been doing so great. I haven't had any excess carbohydrates. I haven't had any excess sugar or whatever the problem is. But that's because the thought hasn't come in my mind. And if the thought comes in my mind, dropping the red flag, that's mean I'll use again. And the only reason this has been good is because the thought hasn't come up. And now that the thought's going to come up means I'm going to do it. We've now dropped the red flag, the danger in it. I'd really hate that for you. You know what I'd really love for you though, is you leave and occasionally you think the thought just pops up, which you already know you can't control, you don't choose. The sugar, carbohydrates, I'd like that. It comes up. But you're so mentally and emotionally robust, because I want to make you emotionally and mentally bulletproof, that when it comes up, oh yeah, it comes up and passes. Versus, the thought came up, dropped the red flag, suffering. That's where she came in. Thought comes up, oh yeah, sugar. I used to like sugar. I used to eat sugar. I can think about sugar all I want. Doesn't mean I'm using it. Go on with the rest of your day. That's what I want to get you to. So thinking about it like that, can you look forward to these thoughts coming forward? Good. Still? No, this is lovely. Thank you. It's beautiful. This is real. She ain't a stooge. I'm always worried about these hypnosis conferences. Everyone wants to make everyone look good. So there's always this shit. Because like, oh shit, I don't want to embarrass them. And if I'm on their stage, I want them to take good care. I want it to be real. Lovely. Still more work to be done. This is where it might go more than 10 minutes, which means it's more likely that we're actually doing the work versus yes, 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 yes. And then reach out a month later. Oh no, Luke, it didn't work. Well, did you get it? Well, no. Did you apply it? Well, no. Do you have a question?
Is there... I have lots of thoughts.
Yes, I know. It's good. It means you're alive.
And they're very confusing.
That's right.
Is looking forward to those thoughts different from anticipating the thought?
Yeah, because anticipation could be bad. Or I'm anticipating when I give this talk at the Michigan Hypnosis Conference, no one's going to like it, no one's going to like me. Could be bad, right?
Oh, that's a thought.
It's a thought, but anticipation could be good or bad. I'm specifically asking Ruth
Yes.
if she can look forward to it. Can you look forward to that thought? Can we take the red flag out of it? So the thought coming up, oh, sugar, I'd like to have sugar now. Can you look forward to it popping up, knowing that every time it pops up, you're becoming more emotionally resilient and mentally bulletproof because you know you're still alive and you know it's not the thought that causes you to eat the sugar, it's the red flag that you dropped into it. Oh, the thought means I'm going to eat sugar. Thought of the bloody, the lottery, $60 million falling out of the air right now. Let me think about it really vividly. Shit, it didn't come out of the air for me. The thought isn't the thing. The pipe, the picture of the pipe isn't the pipe. That's why I do it at the beginning. I know you've got more questions. I'll come back to you in a minute. Can you look forward to being emotionally and mentally bulletproof enough that when that thought of sugar comes in, be okay with it? You can kind of look forward to it.
Yes.
Almost there. Not quite. This is lovely. Don't be sorry. You're doing beautifully. But you see, we're nudging her along, right? I would rather this be in my office or over Zoom than we kind of get emotionally there. But she wants to make me happy. So she yes, and then she leaves and she's too embarrassed to say, well, no, Luke, I wasn't. She's lovely that she see how much she's come through the whole process. Just a little bit more work. You're doing great. All right. So, you know what I said? Do you remember what I said to you with my ultimate? Well, I'd hate for you to leave and never have a thought of sugar again.
Right.
This is a true story. I love carbohydrates, but I don't eat them a lot. Now, I will tell you something. When I come on a training or a vacation, mini vacation, I eat copious amounts of carbohydrates. But the rest of the year, unless it's like a special occasion, like a birthday or something, I don't eat carbs because I get carried away with them. I bloody blow up, right? But while I'm here, I eat carbs and I accept the thought of me eating carbs. In the old days, I'd be like, oh, eating carbs is going to blow me up, make me a fat bastard. No, I accept. If I'm going through a fast or I'm going through my normal life, if there is such a thing, and a thought of carbs comes up, in the old days, I'm doing keto. I'm having no carbs. Oh, but now I have a craving. By the way, craving is just a thought. It's just a thought that's really empowered and energized up. But all it is a thought. And I know I said this at the beginning, but when I say a thought, it doesn't just have to be a visual. It might be a movie. It might be a still. It might be a sensation inside your body. It might be a sound. You know, it's all of these things and none of these things is a thought. So the thought of like carbohydrates comes up into my mind. Oh, that means I'm going to break. Oh, I've done so good for the last 2 weeks. Now I'm going to have carbs. Now I realize, no, it's just a thought. Would I like carbohydrates in this moment? Yeah, especially if I haven't had any for a couple of weeks. But the thought is like the pipe. It's just a picture. It's not the real thing. Could I have the thought and not eat carbs? Yeah. Could I have the thought and eat carbs? Yeah. Taking the red flag out of it. It just doesn't matter. Because the thought is the picture of the pipe. It's just a picture. It's not real. People think it's real, but they start to get, it's a craving, it's real. Well, it feels real. But we know craving, it feels really real. In the moment, it can be overwhelming, but it's just pictures. It's just thoughts. It's just sensations in various degrees. So if I get a heroin addict, I'm like, yeah, it's just, and they're jonesing. It's just a thought. It's a really persistent thought, but it's just a thought. It's not good. It's not bad. It just is. You, the thought, problem. Oh, it's not okay for me to have this thought. Is it okay? I'm throwing this one in there on the spot because she's challenging me. I love it. You're making me develop this. Could you be okay having the thought of carbohydrates?
Yes.
Yeah, it's pretty congruent, right? And I didn't ask you, is it, would you be? I'm just, could it? Well, yeah, it could. I could also be Superman. I'm not Superman, but I could. There's a reality, right? There's a could. I'm adding this now. You might want to make note of this. We kind of addressed this earlier. Are you willing to have the thought?
Yes.
Okay. And knowing all of that now, can you kind of look forward to that thought appearing? Knowing, before you answer, that by the thought appearing, you've taken a red flag out of it, and you're more emotionally and mentally resilient and bulletproof, because you realise it ain't the thought that hurts you, it's the red flag. You dropped it, it says it wasn't safe at one time. Could you look forward to that?
Yes.
That every time you have that thought, you've just taken a red flag out of it. And it embodies, oh, I can have this thought a million times a day, and I don't have to eat carbs. Do people buy that time?
I wanted that.
Yes.
Yeah? Yeah. What about you? How does that feel for you?
Feels good.
Does it feel different?
Yeah.
So that's kind of what we're looking at. We might need to recircle a couple of them. I might need to say the same thing 10 different ways. That's all right. That's really what I did. At the end, I said the same thing 5 different ways until she got it in there. And like really, not got it here, but I wanted her to get it in there.
The thought doesn't mean acting on the thought.
Yeah, it just means, and having a thought, no matter how visceral it is, that's why I did the Michael Myers thing, coming in and murdering me earlier on, is no matter how vivid it is, it's not real. It's just a thought. And the label, good thought, bad thought, is just a label. And we all made up the labels. This thing called anxiety didn't exist 100 years ago. This thing called depression didn't exist 150 years ago. I'm not saying they're not real. I'm not saying people don't suffer and have these things. That's absolutely not what I'm saying. But someone made up these labels. If I get someone that has anxiety, and I say, well, how does that feel in your body? Well, how do you know you got anxiety? Well, Luke, my stomach is like flipping over. It's like I've got a million butterflies going on in my stomach. My temperature gets up. I get red. This lets me know I've got anxiety. Oh, so great. All right. You ain't got any knee or back problem? I'm not asking you to do this. This is just going off on a tangent, but it will make sense. Like, you don't have any knee or back problems, do you? I'm like, no. I'm like, and I'll be on Zoom. I'm like, so could you just stand up and if you've got space, just do a minute of jumping jacks and it's okay. And they'll do their jumping jacks on the spot. And after a minute, I'll get them to describe their sensations in their body. What are the sensations? Well, I'm hot. My heart's beating a million times an hour. I'm perspiring. Thank you. It feels like my stomach is churning over. But I'm not anxious. But it was the same set of sensations in the body. The only difference was this labeled anxiety because I labeled it a long time versus anxiety versus I'm labeling this exercise. It's just a bloody label. So this whole process takes out the red flags, but also takes off the labels. And oftentimes we're hypnotized by the labels of these words, anxiety, craving. We all are, even me to an extent, because we've been brainwashed to them. So what this is no matter what thought you ever have, you can have great thoughts, bad thoughts. It's never the thoughts. So you can always be emotionally bulletproof because it's never the thought that's having you. And if you ever get caught by, I'm anxious. No, it's just the thought labeled anxiety. I'm having a craving. No, it's just the thought labeled craving. I really want sugar. It's just the thought labeled I want sugar. The picture of the pipe isn't the pipe. Again, go back to the little kid. Mummy, I'm scared of the monster under my bed. Hey, little Jimmy, there's no monster under your bed. But whatever you do, don't look it in the eyes. By thinking the thought is the problem, you're looking the monster in the eyes that doesn't exist. No, we're saying there is no monster. It's just a fucking thought. It's not good or bad. We just label it. Why do we label it? Because we were hypnotized at some point to label it by a lot of suggestion compounded over years, friends, family, social media, government, news. We didn't sit down at a table, decide, well, we're going to label this shame. No, someone else made up this shit. Hence why this process, a lot of it's about dehypnotizing you by taking off the bloody labels on the emotional jars. You feel good?
Yes.
I'd be generally interested how you experience this over the next couple of weeks. So take one of my cards, and I think you already did, and email me, and we'll send you a copy of it. But I'd be generally interested in just noticing what happens.
Yes.
You up for that? Cool. Let's give Ruth a round of applause. Thank